Hey, what's going on everybody? Paul Tech here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the unboxing, assembly, and the full detailed honest review of the Gyroor C1 Plus electric scooter. Now I want to send a big thank you to the company Gyroor for sending the scooter out to me for review so I can share my experience with all of you here on YouTube. So thank you very much for sending the scooter out to me for review. But first, we got to do an official unboxing on the C1 Plus electric scooter here. So as you can see, this is how the box arrived, and it arrived via FedEx and arrived in good condition. It's not damaged and all beat up or anything like that. Now there is going to be two versions of this scooter on Amazon. One is the C1S, which is a little bit smaller version, and the C1 Plus, which is the larger version. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the box here. And again, in this unboxing, I'm gonna be sharing with you as much information as possible. So by the end of this entire unboxing and review video, you're gonna have a clear idea of what to expect with this electric scooter and if this is the scooter for you or not. So we got these straps all untied there. As you can see, opening up the top portion of the box, we're gonna go ahead and see just how well the company did pack this scooter here. So let me go ahead and open up the sides here. I'm gonna bring the camera in a little bit closer. And as you can see, we got a piece of styrofoam off to the corner there, 2 blocks of styrofoam in the middle, a lot of items packed in the center. Overall, it looks to be packed pretty good there. And then I would recommend 2 people to get the scooter out of the box. It is a fairly large scooter, so it'll just be a little bit easier on the back for you. And taking a look at the scooter now out of the box, it does look to be packaged pretty good there with the styrofoam to the right and left hand side. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and take all the styrofoam and zip ties off. Right, so I got the scooter completely unpacked, all the styrofoam and zip ties off. Let me share with you all the items that are included. So you're gonna get your charging cable there and your charger, which is a 2-amp charger, user manual and tools, foot pegs, a rear basket, and then you get your suspension seat post there, all wrapped very nice. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the C1 Plus user manual here. So if you decide to pick up this scooter, I highly recommend open up the user manual here. It's going to give you all types of information about the different components of the scooter, as well as when it comes to the step-by-step assembly. And this scooter, I would say, is about 85% assembled from what it looks like here. But again, the user manual will give you some good, useful information about assembly. All right, so it looks like the first thing I need to do with the assembly is line up the arrows here just like that. So with those lined up, it looks like then I can install the stem of the scooter. So I got to extend this part right here. So if you press down right there, it should extend this portion down, and then I should be able to install this part of the stem to the lower portion of the scooter here. So let's see how this works. Again, I've never assembled their scooters or reviewed them in the past, so I'm just kind of learning as I go as well when it comes to the assembly, but I got the stem in. All right, so it looks like I need to get the locking mechanism to be in line with the arrows also, and then that will allow the stem of the scooter to be, straight with the tire and the light. Now with the included Allen wrench, you're gonna go ahead and tighten the bolt where the locking mechanism is right there. So once you get it nice, tight, and secure, you can go ahead and raise up the stem of the scooter now, and it should be aligned correctly, nice and straight with the tire and the light. Then fold in the locking mechanism and you should be good to go there. So once you finish that, we got to move on to this piece right here. So we need to remove this piece right here to install the handlebars. So you got this little latch right here, which you're going to fold up, and then you have a little bolt to the bottom there. So you're going to have to unscrew the bolt right there. And then we're going to go ahead and get that completely unscrewed. And then we're going to go ahead and remove it. So let me go ahead. There we go. So we got the latch off. We're going to remove the screw. And then there's going to be also a little gold piece right here. We're going to remove that. Next, we got to remove the top portion of the clamp here. So that just slides right off just like that. All right, next I can go ahead and install the handlebars. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate the handlebars forward, pretty much just like that in that direction there. And then I can go ahead and get that top piece that we just removed, slide it right back on top of the handlebars. Get the little gold piece, place it right there, and then go ahead and get the screw as well as the folding latch. And then we're basically just going to reassemble everything just as we had just disassembled these pieces here. So basically just everything in reverse. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten the bottom screw there to the folding latch. Now you want to get this nice and tight because you don't want to have any type of movement on your handlebars. So you're going to press down on the latch. If it's too loose, tighten up the bolt to the bottom there a little bit more till it's nice and tight. And again, you don't want any type of movement to your handlebars while you are riding your scooter here. Looks to be nice and secure there. You also got this secondary latch underneath the handlebars there, and you can go ahead and open that up. And then this is going to allow you to have adjustability to the handlebars. Now the company says this scooter is going to be for a recommended rider height between 5'1" to 6'5". So you have that ability to adjust the handlebars, and then you can go ahead and just fold the clamp there, and you can secure the handlebars at the desired height, which is a really nice feature. All right, so the next step, I got the Allen wrench and the standard wrench here, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the 4 bolts to the back of the scooter, because at this part, I'm going to go ahead and install the rear basket. So we got 1 bolt I got removed there. Then there's going to be another bolt right underneath it, got that removed, and then there's going to be 2 more bolts to the other side. So very, very simple process here of just removing the bolts. And again, you're going to get all the tools necessary for the assembly in the box with your scooter. Moving on to the basket now, as you can see, it looks like a really high quality basket that you are going to be receiving here for your scooter. You can see the build quality looks really nice. Now what you're going to do with the basket first is you're going to have to connect the brake light. So you got 2 wires here, and then you basically line up the arrows on each end and just push the wires together. You'll feel it snap into place, and that's basically very simple. Then you're going to go ahead and feed the wire into the scooter there. So you're just going to try to push that wire in, as much as you can, so you can get the basket nice and flush to the back. And then basically at this point here, you can go ahead and get the 4 bolts that you removed and reapply them now, and securing the basket just like that with the included tools you have there. So it's a very simple process of assembling the rear basket here. Just remember, before you go on your first ride, make sure the rear brake light is functioning and working as it's supposed to be for your first ride. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and install the seat post here. So you got a protective layer on the seat, which is nice to see. And this is a very thick cushion you're getting here for the seat. But as you can see, you just feed the seat post into the scooter here. And then once you get it to that correct height that is going to be comfortable for you, you can go ahead and secure this seat, tightening this bolt right here. And by tightening this is going to prevent the seat from moving on you when you are riding. And then just go ahead and fold that latch into the seat post just like that. And that should prevent any movement to the seat when you're riding. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and install the foot pegs to the C1 Plus. Now, you are going to get some hardware that is going to be included here. So you get these 4 bolts for installing the foot pegs. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the end portion here. And then from what I've seen online, it looks like the way to install these foot pegs is with these bolts to the outside. Now, I might be wrong, but I believe this is the correct way of installing the foot pegs, just like that with those bolts. And then you attach the other side underneath the scooter there with the included Allen wrench, and it seems to be the correct way of installing here. But as you can see, it's another simple process of installation here when it comes to your C1 Plus. Just make sure you get these bolts nice and tight, nice and secure. You don't want any type of movement to your foot pegs when you are riding, and they do fold, so they are foldable foot pegs. They seem to be of really good quality. definitely interested on going on a ride now using these foot pegs, but that's really nice. And that's pretty much it. That is the assembly of the C1 Plus electric scooter. As you see, it's pretty simple and, you know, fairly easy for the most part. The only thing that kind of threw me off was the stem of the scooter and getting it aligned correct, but I did figure it out after a little while there. All right, so taking a closer look at the components of the scooter here, you're gonna get a nice plastic fender to the front. You get a 14-inch pneumatic tire, so these are air-filled tires. You also get disc brakes with 140 millimeter rotors. So it looks like a pretty nice setup you got there. Moving on from there, you are gonna have your charging port right there next to the kickstand. So you got this cover. So when it comes to the charger, you are going to get a 2-amp charger, and according to the company's website, this should take about 7 hours to charge from 0 to 100%. And take a look at the back tire here. You get another plastic fender to the back, which does extend down pretty far there. You can see the mounting points there for the rear fender. Nice that you got fenders here. You also get suspension to the back. You get this nice blue suspension. It looks like it can be adjustable. And then you're also going to get the disc brakes with 140 millimeter rotors and again a 14-inch air-filled tire. And to the other side of the rear tire, you get a second suspension right there. I do like that it's blue and the blue matches the trim of your 14-inch air-filled tire there. Really nice. Now when it comes to the motor here, it is a 650 watt hub motor which peaks at 1000 watts. So we'll see how much power we're going to get with this scooter here in the motor. Really nice tread on these tires as well. Underneath the scooter is going to be your battery here. So it's housed underneath here. It is a 48 volt 13.5 amp hour battery. You have this sticker here with battery information, and it also has the serial number of your scooter if you ever need it. And it looks like you have some nice ground clearance underneath the scooter as well. All right, so moving on from there, I want to go ahead and talk about this footboard here and this really cool feature that I haven't seen on any other seated electric scooter, which you have this basket. And it's a really large basket that you have here on the footboard of the scooter. It looks to be of really good quality. Now you can keep this basket on or you can remove it. You also have this little latch here which opens up the door of the basket. This is so cool. Now, the company is marketing this scooter to pet owners. So if you want to go ahead and put your dog in there, put your pet, you can take it with you and go for a ride. And it's a cool feature. I absolutely love this feature of using the footboard as storage, you know. I'm going to be doing a grocery run later in this video, and I'm definitely looking forward to using that basket. You also get the rear basket here, and I like that they put this little plate to the bottom of the basket because oftentimes if you don't have that, things will fall through the basket. Also got the brake light right there to the back of the basket. Really nice setup. And take a look at the brake light now. As you can see, when you press on the brake levers, they will flash a red color. And then let me go ahead and turn on the headlight now. And as you can see, once you turn the lights on, it'll be a solid red color. And when you press on the brake lever, it will flash. And it's pretty bright out right now, and the brake lights are visible. And you can go ahead and see where the headlight is positioned and how it looks. Let's take a look at the handlebar setup here. Nice comfortable grips with some nice palm rests. You can easily reach the brake levers, as you can see there. You also get a very nice friendly bell to the scooter here. And then taking a look at the twist throttle. So you get a half twist throttle to the right side next to the display there. And then taking a look at the display. So let's go ahead and power on the display by long pressing on the red power button there. As you can see, the display is active now, and you know, it's a nice, simple, small display you have off to the side there, and it's going to give you your information like, you know, miles per hour, your battery, odometer. You can press the M button, which is the mode button, to cycle through the 3 different modes you have available. You can also long press on the mode button, and that'll take you into your voltage. I like that you have that feature there because that could really tell you how much battery you have on your electric scooter here. Double press on the mode button to activate the headlight. So remember, to turn on the light, you got to double press on the mode button. To turn off the headlight, double press on the mode button again. And there you have it. So again, very simple setup you have here with the display. And when you want to turn off the display, go ahead and long press on the power button. and it turns it off. All right, so moving on now to the speed test. So I got a full battery charge here on the C1 Plus. I got my phone set up here with GPS, so we're going to be able to match up the speed on the scooter with the GPS. So going on mode 1, let's go ahead and see what is the top speed going to be. It looks like we're at 13 miles per hour, 12 miles per hour. So it looks like the top speed on mode 1 is 13 miles per hour. Bumping it up to mode 2 now. Let's see what we get here. So we're at 14, 15, 16 miles per hour, and it looks like the top speed on mode 2 is going to be 16 miles per hour. All right, so bumping it up to the third mode, let's see if we can hit that 18 miles per hour. And just like that, we are at 18 miles per hour, which is definitely great to see a scooter that reaches its advertised top speed. And as you can see there, we just hit 19 miles per hour. So wow. I'm actually very impressed with the speed on the scooter here. You got nice, smooth power delivery here with the 650 watt hub motor. But as you can see, we're hitting speeds of 19 miles per hour. All right, so it's time for the hill climbing test. So we're going to see how well this scooter can get up the hill. Let's see if it can still maintain top speed going up. But as you can see, it's a fairly steep hill in the neighborhood here, but we're at 16 miles per hour and 17 miles per hour. So let's see what speed we're going to maintain. We're dropping down to 16 miles per hour now, 15 miles per hour, and down to 14. And let's see, it looks like we're going to maintain speed of 14 miles per hour as we ascend up the hill here. All right, so honestly, the scooter performed very well and pretty much performed as expected. So as you can see, we made it up the hill perfectly fine. And this is pretty much how the scooter will perform when it comes to climbing hills. The steeper the hill, you're going to see a reduce in speed. But as you can see, I was able to get up the hill and it did pretty good. So, that's kind of the results that you could expect when it comes to hill climbing with this scooter. All right, so when it comes to the brakes here, when it comes to the stopping power of these brakes, they actually brake really good. I'm getting some good solid braking power. Now, when it comes to the squeaky sound that I am hearing, that's very common when it comes to disc brakes, especially out of the box. But one thing I did notice when it comes to disc brakes, the more you use them, the better they get. And oftentimes that squeaky sound will go away. If it doesn't go away after some time of using your scooter, then you might have to do a little bit of brake adjustment. But that's just very common when it comes to disc brakes, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the ride quality, the power delivery that you're getting here with the scooter. So when it comes to the throttle, I got some good throttle control here. I noticed when I use the throttle, there is about a 1 second delay. Then I feel the motor engage. So when it comes to the motor, it is a 650 watt hub motor, which peaks at 1000 watts. So 1000 watts of peak power, but it's smooth power delivery. So this scooter is not super torquey. When you hit the throttle, it's just not going to take off on you. It won't do that. You're going to get a nice gradual, smooth power delivery here with the scooter. I also noticed that it's really easy to maneuver with this scooter and control it. And you're going to be able to hit some tight corners and just carve out on the scooter. And it's a lot of fun riding this scooter. I also think it makes for a very comfortable ride, that you have the adjustable seat height. And you can also adjust the height of the handlebars, which is nice. Now, even though this scooter does not have any front suspension, you are going to get those 14-inch air-filled tires, which definitely do a good job of soaking up a lot of the bumps and the cracks on the road. And you match that up with the suspension seat post, which that seat is super nice and plush. It really does make for a smooth ride. And you also got the rear suspension there that does a good job. And when it comes to the foot pegs and my foot placement, I find the foot pegs to be very comfortable. I really enjoy using them. It kind of gives it this unique riding style here where you kind of feel like you're riding a moped with these foot pegs off to the side, but I like them. All right, so I went ahead and took the scooter on the bike lane on the road over here, because I honestly feel like this can definitely be a good commuter scooter, and it did an excellent job on the bike lane. I felt safe riding with traffic around me. So if you're considering this scooter as potentially using it to commute to work, to commute to school, again, you get all that additional storage. So, you can throw your backpack in the bottom rack there or in the rear rack. And yeah, you can definitely use this and you should feel comfortable riding in the bike lane with this scooter. All right, so if you've been watching my reviews for some time now, you know I really test these scooters out in different riding conditions. So we're going to go ahead and go through some tall grass here. Now this is a trail that a lot of people in my area go through with their bikes and scooters, and it seems to be doing a decent job going through this area here. Now by no means is this an off-road electric scooter. It's not meant for the off-road, but if you needed to go through a little bit of grass, some dirt, it seems to be doing an okay job. I can definitely feel a lot of the bumps on this little trail here, but as you can see, it is getting me through this trail. So I wouldn't go off-roading with this, but if you need to go through a little bit of grass and dirt, it seems to get through it okay, in my opinion. All right, so I also went ahead and did a range test on this scooter. I charged it up to 100%. I rode over 2 hours with this scooter here. I'm going to show you the route that I took with this scooter. Now the company claims that you can potentially get up to 30 miles of range off a full charge. Do I believe that? Yes, I do. I think you really could. For me, I got a little over 20 miles and I had 30% battery left. Again, I'm a 200-pound rider. I kept it on mode 2 and 3, and I did go up a couple of steep hills. So if you're riding a little bit more conservatively and you're keeping it on maybe mode 1 and 2, and you're a little bit lighter than me, not going up steep hills, yeah, I think you can probably hit that 30 miles, but I got 20 miles. All right, I also want to share with you just how portable and compact this scooter can become. As you can see, I went ahead and removed the seat post. I put it in the center basket there, and you're able to fold down the handlebars here. And as you can see, I have it parked in my kitchen here. It is charging and it's not taking up a whole lot of space. And this is actually, you know, a fairly large scooter here, the C1 Plus. I also want to mention, when you are charging this scooter, the charger will be red when it's charging, and when the scooter is fully charged, it will be a solid green color. So just keep that in mind. But you know, I really love the fact that it does fold, and you can just park this and, you know, place it in a corner, you know, and as you can see, it's in my kitchen here, and it's not taking up a whole lot of space. So people are still able to walk through, you know, the kitchen here. They can go out to the backyard if they want to. But, you know, I just wanted to share with you that it does fold up and it can become pretty portable and compact with this scooter here. All right, so we are going to do a test here. We are going to do a grocery run. I really like having this little latch that opens up this door here to the center basket. I think this is such a cool feature you have here. I got this insulated bags here because this is what I use when I go to the grocery store. And you can see the size of these bags here. They are the insulated ones. And as you can see, I can fit 2 of these bags on the footboard. Now this footboard is pretty large. It comes in at 11.8 inches. But I think this is just a great design, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this on other scooters where you use that footboard as a place of storage. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head on out to the grocery store. Let's go. So I made it over here to the grocery store. It was about a 5-mile ride, and there are some bike racks over here which I am going to lock up the C1 Plus. Now if you get this scooter, definitely get yourself a good lock to lock up this scooter, and of course always wear a helmet when you are riding your scooters here. But I'm going to get the scooter locked up and head on in and do some groceries. All right, so I'm all done with the grocery shopping, heading back over to the C1 Plus. As you can see, it's still nice and locked right there waiting for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get the groceries all packed into the scooter here. So I wanna go ahead and share with you that the max payload on this scooter is going to be 300 pounds. So that's the max load the scooter can handle. As you can see, I got everything packed in there. Now to the back rack, I went ahead and put the water, the pack of water, and the creamer. So you can just see, you know, the size of the items and, you know, what potentially could fit back there, but I went and put those there. And then to the center rack here, as you can see, that bag is pretty packed. And then I got this bag as well. You can see there's a gallon of milk in there. There's yogurts. There's all types of food items that I got. I also got a pack of donuts that I got to put inside there. That's still in the grocery cart. But that's pretty much it. Everything is packed, ready to go. And it's pretty cold out, so don't worry. That creamer is going to be perfectly fine when I get home. It's early morning here. I got a 5-mile commute back home. So let's go ahead and head back with all the items here. All right, so I made it back home on the C1 Plus. Mission complete. It was such a fun experience using the C1 Plus to get to the grocery store and then to ride it back with all the grocery items here. And it was a good experience. I didn't run into any issues. This scooter performed perfect, even with all the groceries on the center rack as well as the items on the rear rack. It was really fun experience. As you can see, again, the items that I did purchase, to be honest with you, is quite a bit of items here. As you can see, I mean, pretty much both insulated bags are full, and then the rear rack has items there also. So the C1 Plus can definitely be a great option for those of you that are potentially looking for a car replacement. Or even if you're not looking for a car replacement, you're just looking for a way to give your car a break and you can still get around town, still hit some stores, go to the grocery store, do some shopping. This can be a good option. An excellent option for those of you that are in colleges and universities and you need a way to get around campus and maybe get to the grocery store and back, and you don't want to use the rental scooters and you don't want to use Uber. This could be a good way of transportation for you. There's so many ways you can use this scooter. In my opinion, this scooter is like the Swiss Army knife of scooters. You got a lot of great options available here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my full, detailed, honest review of the Gyroor C1 Plus electric scooter. Again, I try to give you guys as much information in these reviews as possible, and hopefully my review can help you out with your purchasing decision. I recommend it, and it comes at a price of $599, and I think it's a lot of bang for your buck here. You're getting a lot of value for that $599 price tag. All right, everybody, if you're interested in this scooter, I'll drop a link in the description below of this video. You can go ahead, make the purchase there, read more about the scooter in that link in the description of the video. And it might be an affiliate link, so if you click on it, make a purchase. I do get a small kickback, a small commission, which does go back to the channel, and it just helps me to create more videos. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. This is Paul Tech. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.